Did you catch much of the Premiership on the weekend?
I watched plenty of ruggers.
Should we start with Leicester?
Oh, yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, well, we had that conversation with... we were at Hambo's dinner the other week, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
And we had the conversation with Simon Cohen about the pressures, and they'd beaten... Who had they beaten that week? They'd beaten Pooh, hadn't they?
They beaten Pooh, then they beat Cardiff the week after.
And he's like, feeling good, things are good. The
Good pre-season.
Vibe's good, pre-season's good, and then a waboom, you play your local rivals, Northampton, and you compare Saracens on the Friday night, who had all their World Cup stars coming back in, and then you look at Leicester, who had nearly as many World Cup stars back in the Leicester team, and it was as if those boys didn't want to be there, but you saw everything that all the Sarries boys poured into the game on the Friday night, and I just didn't see it from the returning Leicester boys. And it's a whole collection of things. Now, I said it on Twitter, the club's in the position they're in because of bad management from 5 years. The last 5 years, recruitment, changing coaches left, right and centre, so you haven't got any consistency there. Now, people are calling for Jordan Murphy's head. He's a good mate of ours, and okay, we're a bit biased. The attack is coached by Mike Ford. I didn't see any attack. I don't know how they're playing. Don't know what they're doing. The defence is coached by
Phil Blake.
The defence is coached by Phil Blake, and they leaked a load of tries. The line out and the forwards are coached by Mark Bakewell. And I think Northampton were calling backs moves off Leicester's line out. So, Jim, let's get you another job. We tried to get you the Gloucester line out job last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
This week could be the Leicester line out job. And take it on. Because, they're shocking. They were, weren't they?
Mate, they're in dire straits. They really are. Northampton are good, so you can't take that away. I'm with Goode, and again, we can keep labouring the point. And there is a bias here, similar to with Saracens when we were chatting about that for me. But Goode played at Leicester for 10 years in the glory days. I was amongst that. And again, we've spoken about it before, and we may as well speak about it again, because Leicester had an identity that was synonymous with Leicester, that old school forward pack, world-class players. And then the game moves on, the game evolves, and Leicester, unfortunately, don't evolve with it. And they haven't. And last year they weren't great. They've had a number of changes of coaches. What must Cockers be thinking? He got sacked. I think they top four that year that he got sacked. I think they finished top four.
Possibly.
I mean, either way, one of your most successful coaches. They're bringing Matty O'Connor, who'd been there before. He's gone. Major's gone as well before that. And then they bring in Geordie, or they promote Geordie within. They bring in Pat Howard. They've brought in Mike Ford. Phil Blake was suspended for a while on a betting scandal, if scandal is the right word. They bring him back in. It's really difficult because you don't want to open a team up, but it's now with Leicester, it's glaringly obvious that there's big issues there because, frankly, I can't see any other team, bar potentially Wasps, that are playing as badly. Bath aren't great either, but at least I think you can see stuff within Bath that will keep them up, like in terms of their defence and their want. But Leicester, my word.
Leicester dominated the Premiership for years and years and years, and they were either winning it or in the finals, minimum, semi-finals. They were the big team, and they're now the favourites for relegation. And that's with Saracens on minus 400 points.
So my thoughts on it are, and Goody mentioned it earlier, look at Saracens, okay? I know there's a load of stuff gone on around that, but look at Farrell. Look at his performance against Bath. There is a man who didn't captain against Bath. It was Brad Barrett. There was a man in Owen Farrell that wanted that so bad that he put in a performance like he did. Absolutely mounting people in the tackle. Getting back up to the floor, like the energy, the desperation that he had for his club, knowing that he wants to keep the club up. The loyalty that he's shown. And again, it's easy to go hard. George Ford, obviously, him and Farrell are the 10 and 12. So they are seen by Eddie Jones, the best coach in the world, as like for like, I'd say, in terms of their ability. Owen Farrell maybe slightly outweighs it. There's talk of George Ford. Is he staying at the club? Is he going to Bristol's?
I've heard he hasn't got any other options.
So you've got that stuff going on. The talk of Manu as well, going to Toronto Wolfpack. there's that stuff rolling around. Ellis Genge as well.
Ben Young's
Going to Northampton. So you look at, there's nothing coming out of Saracens now. It's all, and the reason why we're talking about Saracens and Leicester is the like for like in terms of their international quality.
Well, there's nothing coming out because obviously they've got all those investments that they're not going to lose, but that's another story. But 4 of the Leicester backline started the World Cup final. Ben Young's at 9, George Ford at 10, Manu Tuolangi in the centres, and Johnny May on the wing.
Is it a simple case of people just not being able to get up after such a big high?
No. Because if some players can do it at Saracens and other players have come back off the back of a World Cup, and Faf de Klerk, by the way, won the World Cup. He's scored a try for Sale at the weekend and trying to start fights, like playing the way he plays. Because he cares.
Francois Lowe, I'd say he was okay for Bath. The difference is with Leicester is these names that we're talking about, and again, we're opening them up. These are guys that are born and bred. Apart from George Ford, but he was there as a young lad as well. They're second from bottom. Sarries ain't going to get relegated. They need to play with absolute desperation. Faf de Klerk doesn't need to play with desperation. He just won a World Cup. Where's his allegiances in terms of with Sale? He gets paid by Sale. I'm sure he loves it there. I'm sure he's well happy there. Yeah, I might be wrong. He ain't going to be living in Sale after, is he? In Manchester. He's probably going to go back to South Africa or whatever, but he's playing like a desperate man. These Leicester players, you want to see absolute desperation. People are calling for Jordan Murphy. People are calling for Aaron Major. People were calling for Richard Cockrell. People were calling for Matty O'Connor. People are calling for Bakewell. People are calling for everyone else. People are calling for the board. For me, it comes down to the players. It doesn't matter. And this is maybe one of the ways that I try to play. And when I played for Scotland and the backs were rubbish and we never won a game. But I made sure that every time I came off the pitch, I tried to keep it under 8 penalties a game. Every time I came off the pitch, that I couldn't have given anything more. I left absolutely everything out there.
Bit different when you're doing 4 minutes a game, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, here
8
he is.
penalties
All
in
right,
4
mate.
minutes.
I went hard for all 4 minutes.
Good input,
Well
Andy
done,
Rowe.
mate.
Good
Cheers,
input,
mate.
Andy
I
Rowe.
was literally getting deep there.
He was.
Really deep.
But you look at Leicester as a whole as a club, the owner wants to sell it. The major shareholder wants to sell it. So there's not a passion or a want or a desire from him to put in more money and try and reinvigorate the team. Their recruitment's been shocking. And I say that I've said this for years. Their recruitment at Leicester has been, I said it last year, I think, mid to low table recruitment. This year, they've made some decent signings, but their squad quality, you look at the quality across everyone's squad, the squad quality, it is where it is. I know this year's a bit different because it's the World Cup, but a lot of the time, table doesn't lie of the squad quality, does it really, in reality?
Dream scenario. Dino.
Yeah, he ain't going back there at the minute.
So dream scenario would be to get Dino back, get Jono back,
Fuck it, I'll go back. I'm joking.
to front up the club and keep Geordie in there 100% and consolidate. There's a big chance at the minute. I think there's a bigger than a bigger chance. What's bigger than bigger?
Biggest.
Really big.
Biggest.
That Leicester are going to get relegated.